Hi, Junior here to tell you a little bit about edocs. Edocs are like, whoops, my computer shut down. Edocs are a little like what you would send off an Adobe file when you attach something to an email. The difference is that the recipient on the other end does not have to print it out, scan it, and send it back to you. They simply have to click on it, and that is acceptance. It is a legally deliverable, legal form of delivery, I should say. I'm going to show you how to create the doc. I'm also going to show you what will show up on your customer or client's end. I created a fake doc here, just an amendment to a listing contract that you normally would see, that you already know how to make. So, but I'll do it in edoc. Now, the one thing that's different that you'll note here, that I've already saved it, which you're probably used to seeing, clicking on that button there. But this time I'm going to go over to the e-sign, the thing that says e-sign there. I'm going to click on it, and if something comes up and says sign or check status. I'm going to click on sign, is what I'm going to do, and voila, we get a window up here. And here, now I'm going to uncheck a few things. I'm not going to put my name down for a recipient. There's no need to. These names here are actually the people that will receive the document. Now you have a Mr. and Mrs. If they're at the same email address, you would just put in Mr. Milady, Mrs. Milady, and put in the same email address. It'll magically go from one email address to another after they sign it. They both cannot sign at the same time, so it would go from one to the next. But that's not necessary to know all that stuff quite yet. Let's get you through the first step first. So you put in the if you're using a document already created in Zipforms, my name is already showing up there. So, and my name is, in this case, I'm the lister. So I'm going to just put in my email address, Jim at 28lakes.com. So you would put in whatever your email is for your client, and then you go and press on this button down here, continue to ZipLogic's digital ink. So you click on it now. Computer goes and says that it's going to start sending things. It's going to ask you a few things before you can send it. And we're waiting. I wish I had the Jeopardy music, but I don't. I suppose I could sing the Jeopardy music, but that would probably be annoying. So the computer will go through its gyrations. What it's doing, it's going to a website up here, which you can't see on this screen here. It's called Sinex. Here, I'll move that up. Sinex, and then it's moving things. It's going to Wizard Party. Okay, now it's coming back here. Let me get you over here. It's saying Seller 1, James R. Milady. If I want to carbon copy somebody, I can, but I usually don't. That seems fine. The next thing you need to do is you'll have to go to Add Document. In this case, I won't need to add a document because the only document that I have is the amendment to listing contract, which I just created. Third item is Add Signatures. Here it's a good idea to make sure that the document showed up and the fields are where they should be. So here I'm going to check my document. This window will come up and show you that's actually how you add other signatures if necessary. But I'm going to go down to the bottom, and you'll note what's different about it is this purple box. This purple box is where you're going to want the signature. When you've created it in Zipforms, the purple box shows up there automatically along with a date field as well. That looks super. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. So now I can just sit there and say send. And then it comes up with this screen. I can add more text there if I want to tell people here's the document that you've been waiting for. This actually changes the price from $10,000 to $5,000. Just review it and sign it and get it back to me. So you just press send now. Do you really want to send this transaction? It's obviously going to ask you that question. You're going to say yes. So now the transaction's been started. It acknowledges that James R. Mulady has been notified at jim@28lakes.com. I can say yes. That's super. So now, since I'm sending it to myself just for a test, let's go over to my email and see if I'm getting it yet. May not be, but I will click to see if it's coming. It is. Now the first thing you'll note here is that it's coming from not Jim Mulady, Coldwell Banker. It's coming from Ziplogics Digital Inc. So you have to warn your client, customer, whoever it is, that it will not be coming from you, because they'll oftentimes call, why didn't you send me something? Well, it doesn't actually come from you. It comes from Ziplogics. So now, when you open it, it says, Dear James Mulady, your documents are ready to sign. Click here to do stuff. So it's like, I'll go and click here, and all the magic. This is now, I'm acting as the customer to the client here, but this is what the customer to the client is going to see on their end now. It says, let's get started. Am I agreeing to read legal consent? That's end user license agreement sort of thing. This is actually the legalese that they need to do to accept things. And obviously I'm going to say accept. And then I'll go next here in the corner. Next window is creating your signature. First thing I got to do is select a pin. It says at least 6 characters and include 1 number and letter. So I'm going to do that. And then you can choose what your signature looks like. I'll actually choose, say, this one looks nice. Actually, I like this one. I have to go down a little bit here so you can see it. On to view sign. Okay, that's the document that I created there, the amendment to the listing contract. So I'll actually sit there and I have 1 document to complete, so I will say next. You've been asked to review and sign this document. Scroll through the document or use the next signature task above to jump to required signatures and other tasks. When you're done, choose Finish Signing above and to save your signatures to the document. So now you can just say OK. It gets rid of that window. So now I'll go down to my screen here, the bottom of my thing. All I have to do, whoops, kind of moved on me there a little. I just have to click on this blue box and the signature that I created shows up there. It's hard to see behind the red box, but there's a signature there, and it gives me the option to remove the signature if I wish. So now what I have to do is, as that little thing told me before, I have to say Finish Signing. And it says commit signatures. It's asking you if are you sure you want to commit to this signature, and I will say yes. And review the documents. It says all tasks complete. The status is complete. So I, as the customer, am all finished up. So I can sit there and I can just say quit now because I'm actually done doing things on that. So I'd say yes, you're finished. Thank you for signing online, without having to print anything out or scan things. So it's a little bit simpler. Now if I go back to my inbox, it'll probably have this. Now I'm acting as the agent now. There it is, the Mulady Test 2, the document there. Will come back again, not from me, but from Ziplogics. And I'll go and look at it, the attachment here. And there's the document, changing it, and the signature will be on the bottom. There it is, my signature plus the time, Greenwich Mean Time there. So it's actually cool. At that point, then I can print it out. I can't send this document to another person, though. That's one problem. So I can only open it up on my machine. So, but what you can do then, you can print it out, then you can scan it if you need to send it to somebody else. The better way to do that, of course, if you need somebody else's signature, is just add that to the signature line on your first step there. And if you have other people, it'll go directly from that first seller to the next seller to the next seller. And if they're all digitally good, they'll sign. They'll just go to them, to them, to them, and it will not come back to you until all the parties have signed. So it's very, very cool that way. So I hope this helps. Call me if I can be of help, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.